In this time of staying home, the Native nonprofit educational organization Dakota Wicohan has had to rethink how they're supporting the youth in the community. Using take-home medicine kits and Zoom, they're working on being in community with one another.
My name is Eileen O'Keefe, and I'm the program director at Dakota Wicohan.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being there and joining me virtually. So how are you doing? How's Dakota Wicohan doing?
Surprisingly well. So in a normal week, we would have programming 4 out of the 5 days of the week. So for the youth. So we had programming all the way up to March 11th. So we took that first 2 weeks that school was canceled and that we'd canceled programming to just sort of regroup, recenter ourselves, assess like things that we could do remotely, things we could still do in the office. And then once that we realized that this would go longer and there was sort of no end in sight, then we quickly transitioned to what we could do online and how we could still reach the youth that we service in our programming.
So what kind of things have you needed to do to kind of adapt to not being able to meet together?
We started up a Zoom line. Fortunately, that the youth through the Redwood, at least the Redwood area school district, they all have Chromebooks that they've been allowed to have at home now to access the internet. So that's at least thankful. That's one thing one hurdle we don't have to try to get over for everybody is that they have the access to the technology.
I feel like technology has been a tool, a helpful tool, but it also can just be a lot of screen time can be a lot of screen time, and that's not always the best. I feel like it's being used in a good way now, but I'm wondering how you're finding meaningful ways to connect to people.
Some of the kits the language materials that we send home can be used in a family setting. One of the handouts was a go fish game. So I think that's something they could also use at home with their family, other siblings, to sort of have that engagement, have the Dakota language, but yes, not be completely screen time. Because even as an adult, I mean, I'm sort of over it. It's nice, but there's only so much, screen time. It's better than nothing, but it's not the same as that human contact one-on-one. I know a couple people were like surprised that we were still working and still going on, but these youth, they really depend on us, I think, just for that emotional support. And then Gianna Eastman and Butchie Eastman that work with the youth, they each put together some binders, handouts, that sort of take-home stuff. They dropped them off at the homes that they could use that as a reference during their calls. And then also staff, we put together a home smudge kit that we made them a little care package and dropped that off also with the youth at home for their personal use. You know, we barely dropped it off. We've already been smudging. Like, well, that's awesome. That's great. But also we were doing every other week we were having adults gather for a beading circle. And it really is more than a beading circle. It was more of just whatever arts project you're working on. You could bring it, we'd come down and just gather to visit and have that time together, bounce ideas off, share ideas. So we're looking at possibly next week, we'll start that as an opportunity if anyone wanted to join online for that arts. It's not going to be a tutorial or anything. It'll just be more of a visiting, show us what you're working on, sharing, that sort of thing. So there will be some adult programming in there.
How did the wicozani training go?
It was awesome to have the interaction and the leadership from them and the help training of the deeper understanding of the scale and why we're using it and what we should get out of it. And it wasn't anything that you didn't need to share if it wasn't comfortable for you. You didn't need to discuss. There was no grading. It wasn't, oh, this is good or bad. It was just more of a self-awareness tool, which was awesome. And then it helped to give you some how you might set some goals to possibly improve this, your mind health or your body health. And then it also gave it a good context of this is the time frame. We're just saying this week. Because in my head, I was going over what's my scale of my physical health. I'm thinking, well, I'm 47 years old. And they're like, no, not your whole body, just today, just this week. Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling, sick or physically drained?
So how do you think you might use it with your youth, or have you started already?
No, we haven't started since we just did the training on last week. That we'll start this week. We'll start implementing it. They recommended only doing it in small groups of like 5 to 6, just to be a little bit more intimate and safe. All right, thank you again so much. It was good to see you. Hope you guys stay healthy and well.
Yeah, you as well.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.